Elon Musk. The name conjures images of innovation, ambition, and a future shaped by technology. But behind the public persona lies a story far darker than most realize. A story that begins not with rockets or electric cars, but with a family shrouded in secrets, scandal, and a legacy of shadows. Elon Musk was born in 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa, during the height of apartheid. His father, Errol Musk, was an electromechanical engineer, and his mother, Maye Musk, a model and dietitian. On the surface, the Musk family appeared successful and privileged. But beneath the surface, their story is far more complicated and far more controversial. Errol Musk, Elon's father, is a figure shrouded in mystery and controversy. He claims to have been a co-owner of an emerald mine in Zambia during the 1980s, a venture that allegedly funded the family's wealth. But the details of this mine and how it operated raise serious ethical questions. The mine, located in the Zambian copper belt, was reportedly a lucrative operation. But how did Errol Musk get involved in such a venture? The story begins at a Zambian airstrip, where Errol met an Italian man who was paying locals to dig up gems. This wasn't a formal business arrangement. No contracts, no paperwork. Just a handshake during what Errol calls Zambia's free-for-all days. This informal partnership would prove incredibly profitable. Errol has boasted about flying to Europe with emeralds in his pockets, brokering deals with high-end jewelers like Tiffany and Company. But here's the catch. Zambia's mining industry during that era was rife with corruption, exploitation, and environmental devastation. The lack of formal agreements meant there were no safeguards for workers or the environment. Emerald mining in Zambia during the 1980s was often tied to unethical practices. Many mines operated without proper oversight, exploiting local labor and damaging the environment. If Errol Musk was involved, it's likely that his wealth came at a significant human and environmental cost. But Errol Musk wasn't just a businessman, he was also a politician. In the 1970s, he was elected to the Pretoria City Council as an independent, later joining the Progressive Federal Party. This party was considered the liberal wing of South Africa's all-white parliament, advocating for gradual reform during the apartheid era. While the Progressive Federal Party opposed apartheid, its approach was far from radical. It sought to maintain white privilege while making incremental changes, a stance that reflected the complexities of South Africa's political landscape. Errol's involvement in politics suggests a man who was both ambitious and pragmatic, traits that would later be mirrored in his son, Elon. Despite their shared ambition, Errol and Elon Musk's relationship has grown strained over the years. Today, they are reportedly estranged, with Elon rarely speaking about his father in public. When he does, the comments are often critical. In a 2017 interview, Elon described Errol as a terrible human being and accused him of being involved in evil deeds. "My father will have a carefully thought-out plan of evil. He will plan evil." But Errol has his own version of events. In response to Elon's claims of an unhappy childhood, Errol once quipped, "Elon went to school in a Rolls-Royce every day." This statement not only undermines Elon's portrayal of his upbringing, but also hints at the privilege that surrounded the Musk family during Elon's formative years. While Elon has painted a picture of hardship and struggle, Errol's words suggest a childhood of luxury and entitlement. This contradiction raises questions. Was Elon's drive to succeed fueled by adversity, as he claims? Or was it shaped by the wealth and privilege that Errol provided? Maye Musk, Elon's mother, is often celebrated as a model of resilience and grace, but beneath the surface of her glamorous public image lies a more mysterious and perhaps darker story. Recent photos of Maye have sparked curiosity and speculation. She is frequently posed with one eye covered or closed. To some, this imagery is more than just a stylistic choice. It's a symbol laden with meaning. In religious and occult traditions, the symbolism of a single eye carries profound significance. In Zechariah 11:17, the Bible speaks of a figure whose right eye shall be utterly darkened, a passage often interpreted as a reference to the Antichrist or a harbinger of doom. The one-eyed motif has also been linked to the all-seeing eye, a symbol of hidden knowledge, power, and control. Is Maye's use of this imagery intentional? Is it a nod to esoteric traditions, a personal statement, or simply a coincidence? Whatever the reason, it adds an air of mystery to her public persona, a mystery that deepens when we consider her family's history and the values they espouse. Maye's father, Joshua Norman Haldeman, was no stranger to unconventional ideas. As a former director of Technocracy Incorporated, he championed a vision of society governed not by democracy, but by scientists and engineers. The technocracy movement, active in the 1930s, sought to replace politics with data-driven decision-making, a vision that some saw as utopian and others as dystopian. Joshua's beliefs were rooted in a faith in technology and progress, but they also carried an undercurrent of elitism and control. Could his influence have shaped Maye's worldview, and by extension, Elon's? And does Maye's use of one-eyed symbolism hint at a deeper connection to these ideas, or even to the darker interpretations of power and knowledge? Maye's life has been marked by both triumph and tragedy. Born Maye Haldeman on April 19, 1948, in Regina, Saskatchewan, she grew up in a family that valued intellect and ambition, but her marriage to Errol Musk was far from idyllic. After enduring years of abuse, Maye escaped with her 3 children, rebuilding her life through sheer determination and resilience. Yet, even as she rose to prominence as a model and dietitian, Maye's story took on a more enigmatic tone. Her recent modeling work, with its striking and often unsettling imagery, suggests a woman who is not just a survivor, but a figure of intrigue, a woman who understands the power of symbols and the stories they tell. What does Maye Musk's use of one-eyed symbolism mean? Is it a reflection of her personal journey, a nod to her father's technocratic ideals, or something more? In a family that has always pushed the boundaries of innovation and ambition, the line between light and shadow is often blurred. And as we delve deeper into the Musk family's story, the mysteries only grow. Elon Reeve Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa. At the time, Pretoria was the administrative capital of apartheid South Africa, a city steeped in inequality, oppression, and tension. From the very beginning, Elon's life was shaped by the contradictions of his environment. A family of privilege in a country divided by race and class. Elon was the eldest of 3 children, born to Errol and Maye Musk. His younger brother Kimball and sister Tosca would later join him in his entrepreneurial ventures. But even as a child, Elon stood out. Described as introverted and bookish, he was often bullied at school. Yet, his intellect was undeniable. By the age of 10, he had already developed a fascination with computers and technology, a passion that would define his future. At just 12 years old, Elon taught himself to code. His first creation was a video game called Blastar, a space-themed shooter that he sold to a computer magazine for $500. It was a small but telling glimpse into his future, a blend of ambition, technical skill, and a fascination with space. But Elon's childhood wasn't just about computers. It was also marked by a sense of isolation. He later described himself as a bookish kid who didn't fit in with his peers. This sense of being an outsider would fuel his drive to escape, not just South Africa, but the limitations of his surroundings. Despite his personal struggles, Elon grew up in a world of privilege. The Musk family lived in a large home, and Elon attended private schools. But this privilege existed in stark contrast to the reality of apartheid South Africa. While Elon rode to school in a Rolls-Royce, a fact his father Errol proudly pointed out, millions of black South Africans lived in poverty, denied basic rights and freedoms. Elon's formative years were shaped by the brutal realities of apartheid. The system of racial segregation and oppression was inescapable, even for a privileged white family like the Musks. How did this environment influence Elon? Did it instill in him a desire to escape or to dominate? These are questions that would follow him throughout his life. Elon Musk's story is just beginning. In our next episode, we'll explore his teenage years, his decision to leave South Africa, and the early signs of the man he would become. What drove him to abandon his homeland? And what secrets did he carry with him? The story of Elon Musk is far from over, and the shadows are only growing darker. Subscribe for the next episode. Like, comment, and share your thoughts. What do you think shaped Elon Musk's early years? Privilege, isolation, or something darker?